Hello everybody, it's Adrian for Wapcar.my and I'm all about the details. Behind me here is the facelifted Lexus NX. Now on paper, it's priced similarly to a Mercedes Benz GLC, Audi Q5 and BMW X3. But in terms of dimensions, it's actually closer to the smaller GLA, X1 and Q3. Now it doesn't make sense why would anybody spend over 300,000 ringgit on something smaller when they could get a much bigger car. But is bigger always better? I'm going to find out in today's video. Lexus Malaysia has three variants of the NX facelift on offer, starting from the Urban, the Premium, which is the one we have right here, and the range-topping F-Sport model. Prices ranges from 313,000 ringgit all the way up to 350,000 ringgit for the range-topping F-Sport model. All models are fully imported from Japan. Now, if you can't tell what's new with the facelifted model, I don't blame you because, frankly speaking, even I have trouble telling the difference. Design changes are just nip and tuck, starting with this new spindle grille which has more horizontal slats, ultra-compact LED headlamps which are inspired from the flagship LC Coupe, dynamic indicators, as well as a new vent on the lower bumper which do channel air across the wheel wells. Over to the side, you get new 18-inch dual-tone alloys, and on the rear, you get a revised bumper which, honestly speaking, I cannot tell that it's different. Design changes is not the main highlight of this facelifted NX. What's important here is the inclusion of the Lexus Safety System Plus or LSS Plus Advanced Driving Assistance Systems that is standard across the range. LSS Plus bundles adaptive cruise control, autonomous emergency braking, forward collisioning warning, lane tracing assist, as well as adaptive high beam assist. Now interestingly, blind spot monitoring with rear cross traffic alert is only available in this mid-spec premium model. It's not even available in the F-Sport. Despite coming up to 6 years old now, I think the NX still looks fresh and timeless, and I think a lot of that has to do with this spindle grille right here. It has aged much better than compared to the GLA and Q3, and it looks properly sporty and compact compared to the bulky X1. Now here's a fun fact for you guys. NX stands for Nimble Crossover. The cabin of the NX, despite its age, is still a very welcoming place to be in. Everywhere you look, it still feels modern and contemporary. Like its exterior, the interior has aged extremely well. Although you still get some flashes of Toyota elements here and there if you look a little bit closer. For example, the multifunctional steering wheel, the buttons on here is very familiar to what you get on a Toyota. On the instrument cluster, although very tidy, neat and easy to look at, the LCD display is exactly what you get in a Toyota Harrier. Although the plus side is the NX do feel a little bit higher definition. And moving on to the center infotainment display, it measures 8 inches in size and is non-touchscreen. But the UI reminds me too much of a Toyota Camry. I mean, this is a 300,000 ringgit car. The least they could do is make it feel a little bit special. And besides that, the infotainment system doesn't come with Apple CarPlay nor Android Auto connectivity as seen in the recently updated Lexus RX. Hopefully, the infotainment system would trickle down to the NX as a running change. This infotainment screen is operated by the Lexus trackpad right here, and in the facelift, it has been made larger. 30% larger or so Lexus claims, because to me it still looks kind of tiny. The Lexus trackpad sounds like a very good idea, but to actually use it, I just find myself fumbling about, not sure what am I pointing at. I still think the BMW iDrive with a rotary knob is still the best in the business. Now in the facelift, Lexus has tried to make it less Toyota and more Lexus, starting with this orange stitching and brown combination leather, which I think ties in very well with the blazing carnelian exterior paint job. And on the premium version, you also get wood trimmings for the interior. But the biggest change to the interior is the climate control panel. They have ditched the large buttons on the pre-facelift in favor of this nice solid metal rocker buttons for the temperature settings, and down here you get the slim buttons. I think it looks gorgeous and expensive. They've also slightly revised the typeface of the analog clock. I think it doesn't matter because it still looks gorgeous. Now, Lexus Malaysia has managed to drop the price of the entire facelifted NX range, and that is done by deleting some premium features. For starters, you don't get a sunroof nor panoramic moonroof across all variants, and the audio system is now an 8-speaker. You don't get the Mark Levinson's 14-speaker setup in any of the NX range. And on the Premium, you no longer get Qi wireless charging tray, which I thought was quite convenient because there are no USB charging ports in the front of the NX. Having said that, I still think the cabin of the NX is still the most plush and premium in the segment. Every touch point in here are covered in soft touch materials and high quality leather. And even though you move to further down there on the hard plastics, that's the sound of good quality plastic. Other areas like the glove box compartment, center console, and the side door cuts are all lined in felt, so you don't get things rattling around. But the best part about the NX? Comfort access magic. Moving on to the back seat of the NX, I have to remind you guys again that this is not the same size as a Mercedes Benz GLC, so definitely it's not as spacious as the Merc. But when compared to its proper class rivals, which is the GLA X1 and Q3, this is the most spacious rear bench in the segment. I have the front seat adjusted to my usual driving position and I'm 175 cm tall, and look at this generous amount of knee room. Headroom is pretty decent too because I don't have a sunroof or moonroof to eat into the headspace. There is also a rather flat floor despite having an all-wheel drive drivetrain. Other amenities back here include rear air vents and a center armrest with 2 cup holders. But my favorite part about the rear bench of the NX is powered reclining rear seats. Now, the rear seats of the NX is not all that great. There are some flaws as well, starting with the rear bench that doesn't rake up quite as much, so you don't get a lot of thigh support. Although there's plenty of room for movement in the footwell, if you want to place your feet under the front seats and it's adjusted to the lowest position, it can be quite a bit of a squeeze. But the worst part is, there are no USB charging ports back here. On the facelifted NX, Lexus has upgraded the car with a powered tailgate function. And if you're like me, your hands are full and you couldn't be bothered with fumbling with your key fob and pressing a button, you can always do a kicking motion under the rear bumper to operate the tailgate. And it opens up to 500 liters of space. The most convenient thing about the boot of the NX is it has a rather flat load lip, so sliding big items in and out is pretty easy. As I've mentioned earlier, the rear seats has a powered reclining function, so if you need to fold the rear seats down for more cargo space, it's done with a push of a button. I mean, you certainly can't do that in a GLC. This is basically GLS stuff. And likewise, if you need to fold the rear seats back up, it's also done via a push of a button. I'm sure a lot of you have a common question in mind. Isn't this just a Toyota Harrier underneath? Well, yes and no. You see, despite the two cars sharing the same underpinnings, Lexus has made sure that its NX is a whole lot more sophisticated than its Toyota brother. The first thing you notice when you close the door is how cocooned you are from the outside world. If you're stuck in a jam, you just don't hear the people around you. Even at high speeds, the most you get is a little rumble from the tires, and that's about it. The suspension filters out undulations better than those one class above, so you know that you're getting your money's worth. Power-wise, it's sufficient. I mean, I would even consider the NX to be powerful. The 2-litre turbocharged 4-cylinder petrol engine makes 235 horsepower and 350 Nm of torque. Power is sent to all 4 wheels via a 6-speed automatic transmission with pedal shifters. There's also a drive mode selector that puts the powertrain into Eco, Normal and Sports. The transmission is confident and smooth in its upshifts, while the downshift is immediate and responsive to your inputs. There's a mild turbo lag when you do with sudden acceleration, but that's about the only flaw in the powertrain. In the facelift, Lexus has upgraded the front performance stabilizer rod for reduced chassis flex. Honestly, it doesn't turn the NX into a sports car, but compared to the pre-facelift, you do get an additional sense of stability when cornering. The LSS Plus is a massive bonus. The adaptive cruise control features low-speed follow with stop-and-go traffic assist. It takes away much of the driving stress, especially if your daily commute includes a lot of traffic jams. And I think this system in the Lexus works a bit better and smoother than the Volvo's. The way it accelerates and bleeds off speed is very natural, almost like a chauffeur is driving you. Not once did it accelerate harder than what my body was prepared for. Next up is the lane tracing assist. The system itself works beautifully well. It keeps the NX in lane and steers smoothly. The only problem is our terrible road markings, which the system sometimes can fail to read. You see the road marking? Suddenly disappear. And there are debris covering those markings. This is not the fault of Lexus. Ini perlu complain kat JKR tau. To sum it up, the NX drives just as well or even better than those one class above. It totally outclasses the GLA, X1 and Q3 in terms of comfort and refinement. I can be crawling in traffic with the adaptive cruise control and low speed follow turned on, have the ventilated seats on full blast, and check myself in the mirror with this one in the center armrest. Still thinking about the GLC? After spending some time in the facelifted NX, I realized that the value of this car cannot be measured based on the equipment list and price tag alone. It's the little convenience features and well-insulated cabin that makes driving that bit more enjoyable and traffic jams that bit more tolerable. But if you can't swallow its 333,000 ringgit price tag against the size of the car you're getting, well, just go for the Mercedes Benz GLC. But know this, you will not be as zen driving the GLC as you would in the NX. Also, whatever you do, I would strongly advise against getting a reconditioned model because you don't get after-sales support for recall campaigns and the 5 years unlimited mileage warranty offered by Lexus Malaysia. No matter how cheap a recall model is, you can never put a price on peace of mind. Thanks for watching, we hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos like this and let us know in the comment section below whether the Lexus NX is your cup of tea.